Death Poems of the Chinese Zen Masters. Fuyo Dokai. 76, done with this life. I've not sought heaven, don't fear hell. I'll lay these bones beyond the triple world, unenthralled, unperturbed. Anpo Bonetsu. 65 years, 57 a monk. Disciples, why ask where I'm going? Nostrils to earth. Coco. The word at last. No more dependencies. Cold moon in pond. Smoke over the ferry. Tozan Gyoso. Ways not for the blind. Groping, they might as well seek in the dipper. Old for Zen combat, only the plow will comprehend. I'll climb Mount Congo, a pine. Shozan. No mind, no Buddha, disciples prattle. Got skin, got marrow. Well, goodbye to that. Beyond, peak glows on peak. Layman Yoketsu. Nothing longed for, nothing cast off. In the great void, A, B, C, D. One blunder, another, everyone seeking Western paradise. Shishin Goshin. Talking, 7 steps, 8 falls. Silent, tripping once, twice. Zenists everywhere, sit. Let the mind be. Shokaku. High wind, cold moon, long stream through the sky. Beyond the gate, no shadow. 4 sides, 8 directions. Rakan Kanan. Today, Rakan, riding an iron horse backwards, climbs Mount Sumeru. Galloping through void, I'll leave no trace. Ikuo Jun. This fellow, perfect in men's eyes, utters the same thing over and over 56 years. Now something new. Spear trees, sword hills. Chitsu. No more head shaving, washing flesh. Pile high the wood, set it aflame. Ancho. 49 years, what a din. 87 springs, what pleasures. What's having, not having. dreaming, dreaming. Plum trees snow-laden, I'm ready. Dai Soko. Life's as we find it, death too. A parting poem? Why insist? Iko Myotan. 72 years I've hung the karma mirror, smashing through, I'm on the path. Daisen. All things come apart. No saintly sign in these poor bones. Strew their ashes onto Yangtze waves. The first principle everywhere. Tesho. Finally out of reach, no bondage, no dependency. How calm the ocean, towering the void. Sekshitsu Soe. 53 years this clumsy ox has managed, now barefoot stalks the void. What nonsense! Dankyo Myorin. Coming, I clench my hands. Going, spread them wide. Once through the barrier, a lotus stem will drag an elephant. Ichigen. 78 awkward years, a clownish lot. The mud bull trots the ocean floor. In June, snowflakes. Gecko Sojo. How Zenists carry on about the birthless. What madness makes me toll at noon the midnight bell. Enlightenment Poems of the Chinese Zen Masters. Raito. Ox bridle tossed, vows taken, I'm robed and shaven clean. You ask why Bodhidharma came east? Staff thrust out, I hum like mad. Seiken Shiju. 20 years a pilgrim, footing east, west. Back in Seiken, I've not moved an inch. Kaigen. The old master held up fluff and blew from his palm, revealing the source itself. Look where clouds hide the peak. Layman Sotoba. The mountain, Buddha's body. The torrent, his preaching. Last night, 84,000 poems. How make them understand? Hoge. How long the tree's been barren. At its tip, long ropes of cloud. Since I smashed the mud bull's horns, the streams flowed backwards. Hoenn. On the rocky slope, blossoming plums. From where? Once he saw them, Rayon danced all the way to Sandai. Monju Shindo. Joshu's oak in the courtyard handed down, yet lost in leafy branch they missed the root. Disciple Kaku shouts, Joshu never said a thing. Shofu. No dust speck anywhere. What's old, new? At home on my blue mountain, I want for nothing. Layman Makusho. Loving old priceless things, I've scorned those seeking truth outside themselves. Here, on the tip of the nose. Suan. Traceless. No more need to hide. Now the old mirror reflects everything. Autumn light moistened by faint mist. Shifu. No mind, no Buddhas, no live beings. Blue peaks ring 5 Phoenix Tower. In late spring light, I throw this body off. Fox leaps into the lion's den. Moan. Clear, clear, clearest. I ran barefoot east and west. Now, more lucid than the moon, the 84,000 Dharma gates. Saigan Yuan. How vast karma, yet what's there to cling to? Last night, turning, I was blinded by a ray of light. Layman Yakusai. A deafening peal, a thief escaped my body. What have I learnt? The Lord of Nothingness has a dark face. Mumon Ekai. A thunderbolt, eyes wide, all living things bend low. Mount Sumero dances all the way to Sandai. Dangai. Earth, river, mountain, snowflakes melt in air. How could I have doubted? Where's north, south, east, west? Kepo. Searching him took my strength. One night I bent my pointing finger. Never such a moon. Genko. Unaware of illusion or enlightenment, from this stone I watch the mountains, hear the stream. A 3-day rain has cleansed the earth. A roar of thunder split the sky. Ever serene are linked phenomena. And though the mind's alert, it's but an ash heap, chilly, bleak as a dusk I move through. I return, a basket brimmed with peaches on my arm. Saisho on Joshu's nothingness. Earth, mountains, rivers, hidden in this nothingness. In this nothingness, earth, mountains, rivers revealed. Spring flowers, winter snows. There's no being, nor non-being, nor denial itself. Yushun. Why, it's but the motion of eyes and brows, and here I've been seeking it far and wide. Awakened at last, I find the moon above the pines, the river surging high. Takuan. Though night after night the moon is stream reflected, try to find where it has touched. Point even to a shadow. Ungo. Whirled by the three passions, one's eyes go blind. Closed to the world of things they see again. In this way I live, straw-hatted, staff in hand. I move illimitably through earth, through heaven. Daigu. Here none think of wealth or fame. All talk of right and wrong is quelled. In autumn, I rake the leaf-banked stream. In spring, attend the nightingale. Daigu. Who dares approach the lion's mountain cave? Cold, robust, a Zen man through and through, I let the spring breeze enter at the gate. Manan. Unfettered at last, a traveling monk, I pass the old Zen barrier. Mine is a traceless stream and cloud life. Of those mountains, which shall be my home? Fugai. Only the Zen man knows tranquility. The world-consuming flame can't reach this valley. Under a breezy limb, the windows of the flesh shut firm, I dream, wake, dream. Bunan. The moon's the same old moon, the flowers exactly as they were, yet I've become the thingness of all the things I see. Bunan. When you're both alive and dead, thoroughly dead to yourself, how superb the smallest pleasure. Karasumaru Mitsuhiro. Beware of knowing the ideogram of nothingness. Your teeth will crack. Swallow it whole, and you've a treasure beyond the hope of Buddha and the mind. The east breeze fondles the horse's ears. How sweet the smell of plum. Geshu. The seven seas sucked up together, the dragon gods exposed. Backwards flows a stream of Soto Zen, enlightened at last, I breathe. Manzan. 1 minute of sitting, 1 inch of Buddha. Like lightning, all thoughts come and pass. Just once look into your mind depths. Nothing else has ever been. Tokuo. The town's aflame with summer heat, but Mount Koma is steeped in snow. Such is a Zen man's daily life. The lotus survives all earthly fire. Hakuen. You no sooner attain the great void than body and mind are lost together. Heaven and hell, a straw. The Buddha realm, pandemonium, shambles. Listen. A nightingale strains her voice, serenading the snow. Look, a tortoise wearing a sword climbs a lampstand. Should you desire the great tranquility, prepare to sweat white beads. Sengai, on Basho's frog. Under the cloudy cliff, near the temple door, between dusky spring plants on the pond, a frog jumps in the water, plop. Startled, the poet drops his brush. Rokan. Without a jot of ambition left, I let my nature flow where it will. There are 10 days of rice in my bag, and by the hearth a bundle of firewood. Who prattles of illusion or nirvana? Forgetting the equal dusts of name and fortune, listening to the night rain on the roof of my hut, I sit at ease, both legs stretched out. Poems of the Japanese Zen masters. Dogen. The Western patriarch's doctrine is transplanted. I fish by moonlight, till on cloudy days. Clean, clean. Not a worldly mote falls with the snow, as cross-legged in this mountain hut, I sit the evening through. Dogen. Coming, going, the waterfowl leaves not a trace, nor does it need a guide. Muso. Many times the mountains have turned from green to yellow. So much for the capricious earth. Dust in your eyes. The triple world is narrow. Nothing on the mind. Your chair is wide enough. Muso. Vainly I dug for a perfect sky, piling a barrier all around. Then one black night, lifting a heavy tile, I crushed the skeletal void. Daito. At last I've broken Unmoan's barrier. There's exit everywhere, east, west, north, south. In at morning, out at evening, neither host nor guest. My every step stirs up a little breeze. Daichi. Thoughts arise endlessly. there's a span to every life. 100 years, 36,000 days. The spring through, the butterfly dreams. Jakushitsu. Refreshing the wind against the waterfall as the moon hangs a lantern on the peak and the bamboo window glows. In old age, mountains are more beautiful than ever. My resolve, that these bones be purified by rocks. Jewel. Beyond the snatch of time, my daily life, I scorn the state, unhitch the universe, denying cause and effect like the noon sky, my up-down career. Buddhas nor patriarchs can convey it. Fumon. Magnificent, magnificent. No one knows the final word. The ocean beds aflame. Out of the void leap wooden lambs. Shutaku. For all these years, my certain Zen, neither I nor the world exist. The sutras neat within the box, my cane hooked upon the wall. I lie at peace in moonlight, or hearing water plashing on the rock, sit up. None can purchase pleasure such as this, spangled across the steppe moss, 1,000,000 coins. Shutaku. Mind set free in the Dharma realm, I sit at the moon-filled window, watching the mountains with my ears, hearing the stream with open eyes. Each molecule preaches perfect law, each moment chants true sutra. The most fleeting thought is timeless. A single hair's enough to stir the sea. Rushu. Why bother with the world? Let others go gray, bustling east, west. In this mountain temple, lying half in, half out, I'm removed from joy and sorrow. Shinoku. After the spring song, vast emptiness, no holiness, comes a song of snow wind along the Yangtze River. Late at night, I too play the noteless flute of Shorin, piercing the mountain with its sound, the river. Tsugen. Not a mote in the light above. Soul itself cannot offer such a view. Though dawn's not come, the cock is calling, the phoenix, flower in beak, welcomes spring. Guchu. Men without rank, excrement spatulas, come together, perfuming earth and heaven. How well they get along in temple calm, as minds empty, they reach for light. Mumon. Life, a cloud crossing the peak, death, the moon sailing. Oh, just once admit the truth of noumenon, phenomenon, and you're a donkey tying pole. Guido, an inscription over his door. He who holds that nothingness is formless, flowers are visions, let him enter boldly. Kukoku. Riding backwards this wooden horse, I'm about to gallop through the void. Would you seek to trace me? Ha! Try catching the tempest in a net. Zekai. The void has collapsed upon the earth. Stars, burning, shoot across Iron Mountain. Turning a somersault, I brush past. Raison. The myriad differences resolved by sitting, all doors opened. In this still place I follow my nature, be what it may. From the 100 flowers I wander freely, the soaring cliff, my hall of meditation. With the moon emerged, my mind is motionless. Sitting on this frosty seat, no further dream of fame. The forest, the mountain follow their ancient ways, and through the long spring day, not even the shadow of a bird. Kodo. Serving the shogun in the capital, stained by worldly dust, I found no peace. Now, straw hat pulled down, I follow the river. How fresh the sight of gulls across the sand. Bokuo. For 72 years I've kept the ox well under. Today, the plum in bloom again, I let him wander in the snow. Ikkyu. After 10 years in the red light district, how solitary a spell in the mountains. I can see clouds 1,000 miles away, hear ancient music in the pines. Ikkyu, void in form. When, just as they are, white dewdrops gather on scarlet maple leaves, regard the scarlet beads. Ikkyu, form in void. The tree is stripped, all color, fragrance gone, yet already on the bough, uncaring spring. Kokai. Taking hold, one's astray in nothingness. Letting go, the origins regained. Since the music stopped, no shadows touch my door. Again, the village moons above the river. Shinkichi Takahashi, contemporary Japanese master. Shell. Nothing at all is born, dies. The shell says again and again from the depth of hollowness. Its body swept off by tide, so what? It sleeps in sand, drying in sunlight, bathing in moonlight. nothing to do with sea or anything else. Over and over, it vanishes with the wave. Flight of the sparrow. Sparrow dives from roof to ground, a long journey. A rocket soars to the moon, umpteen globes collapse. Slow motion, 20 feet down, 10 billion years. Light-headed, sparrow does not think, philosophize, yet all's beneath his wings. What Zen? Thought, say masters, makes a fool. How free the brainless sparrow! Chirp! Before the first chi, a billion years. He winks. Another. Head left. Mankind's done. Right. Man's born again. So easy. There's no end to time. One gulp, swallow the universe. Flutter on limb or roof. War, peace, care, banished. Nothing remains, not a speck. Time's laid out in the eaves trough, sparrow sings. Pecks now and then. Camel. The camel's humps shifted with clouds. Such solitude beheads. My arms stretch beyond mountain peaks, flame in the desert. Burning oneself to death. That was the best moment of the monk's life. Firm on a pile of firewood, with nothing more to say, hear, see, smoke wrapped him, his folded hands blazed. There was nothing more to do, the end of everything. He remembered, as a cool breeze streamed through him, that one is always in the same place, and that there is no time. Suddenly, a whirling mushroom cloud rose before his singed eyes, and he was a mass of flame. Globes, one after another, rolled out. The delighted sparrows flew round like fireballs. What is moving? When I turned to look back over the waters, the sky was birdless. Men are born. Do I still live, I ask myself, munching a sweet potato? Don't smell of death, don't cast its shadow. Any woman, when I glance her way, looks down, unable to stand it. Men, as if dead, turn up the whites of their eyes. Get rid of those trashy ideas. The same thing runs through both of us. My thought moves the world. I move. It moves. I crook my arm. The world's crooked. Time. Time, like a lake breeze, touched his face. All thought left his mind. One morning the sun, menacing, rose from behind a mountain, singeing like hope the trees. Fully awakened, he lit his pipe and assumed the sun-inhaling pose. Time poured down like rain, like fruit. He glanced back and saw a ship moving toward the past. In one hand he gripped the sail of eternity and stuffed the universe into his eyes. Fish. I hold a newspaper, reading. Suddenly my hands become cow ears, then turn into Busan, the South Korean port. Lying on a mat spread on the bankside stones, I fell asleep, but a willow leaf, breeze stirred, brushed my ear. I remained just as I was, near the murmurous water. When young, there was a girl who became a fish for me. Whenever I wanted fish broiled in salt, I'd summon her. She'd get down on her stomach to be sun-cooked on the stones, and she was always ready. Alas, she no longer comes to me. An old benighted drake, I hobble homeward. But look, my drake feet become horse hooves. Now they drop off and, stretching marvelously, become the tracks of the Tokaido railway line. 3 Zen poems of my own. Zen, the rocks of Sesshu. Joei Temple Garden, Yamaguchi. 1. What do they think of where they lean like ponderous heads? The rocks. In prankish spring, ducks joggling here and there, brushing tails, like silly thoughts shared, passed from head to head. When gong quavering about a ripened sky, we up and go, do they waken from a dream of flesh? 2. In the 3 whites of Hokusai, Fuji, the snow, the crane, what startles is a black. In the outline of the mountain, the branch tips piercing the snow, the quills of the crane's wing, meaning impermanence. Here in stainless air, the artist's name blazes like a crow. 3. Distance between the rocks, half the day in shadow, is a distance between man who thinks and the man who thinks he thinks. Wait, like a brain the garden, thinking when it is thought. Otherwise, a stony jumble, merely that, laid down there to stud our emptiness. 4. Who calls her butterfly would elsewhere pardon the snake its fangs. In the stony garden where she flits, are scythes so sharp, merely to look gives pain. Only the tourist, Kodak aimed and ready for the blast, ship pointing for the getaway, dare raise that parasol. 5. To rid the grass of weed, to get the whole root thick, tangled, takes a strong mind and desire. To make clean, make pure. The weed, tough as a rock it leaps against, unless plucked to the last, live fiber will plunge up through dark again. The weed also has a desire to make clean, make pure, there, against the rock. 6. It is joy that lifts those pigeons to stitch the clouds with circling, light flashing from underwings. Scorning our crumbs, tossed carefully to corners of the garden, beyond the rocks, they rose as if summoned from the futile groveling our love subjects them to. Clear the mind, empty it of all that fixes you, makes every act a pecking at the crumb. 7. Firmness is all. that mountain beyond the garden path, watch how against its tawny slope the candle boughs expire. Follow the slope where spearheads shake against the clouds and dizzy the pigeons circling on the wind. Then observe where no bigger than a cragstone the climber pulls himself aloft as by the very guts. Firmness is all. 8. Pierced through by birdsong, stone by stone the garden gathered light. Darkness, hauled by ropes of sun, entered roof and bough. Raised from the temple floor where stiff since cock crow, blown round like Buddha on the lotus, he began to write. How, against that shimmering, on paper frail as dawn, make poems? Firm again, he waited for the rocks to split. The Duck Pond. 1. Crocus, daffodil. Already the pond's clear of ice where winter long ducks and gulls slid for crusts. People circle, pale, bronchitic, jostling behind dogs, grope toward lawn chairs spread like islands on the grass. Sunk there, they lift faces to the sun. 2. Good Friday. Ducks carry on, a day like any other. Same old story. No one seems to care. A loudmouth leader of a mangy host, spiked to a cross, as blackbirds in certain lands neighboring on that history are splayed on fences, warning to their kind. A duck soars from the reeds. 3. Man and woman argue past the duck pond. His arms flaying, she head down, even by the fully budded cherry clustered lilac boughs. Not once do they forget their bitterness. Face the gift of morning ducks wake to in the reeds. They have things to settle, and they will. 4. On my favorite bench beside the roses, I watch ducks smoothing feathers, breathing it all in. Catching the headline where the bird flits, I'm reminded 3 men were shot up at the moon. I turn back to the roses. What if they don't make it? If they do? 5. Lying near the pond, in fear of the stray dog that daily roams the park, ducks know their limitations and the world's. How long it takes precisely to escape the paw thrusts of the dog, who once again swings round to chase his tail. 6. Radio tower beyond the blossoms, ducks here in the pond, a connection between them. How did I discover this, and why? Was it the blue air? The bench moves beneath us like a seesaw. The pond sends news of the world. 7. What becomes of things we make or do? The Japanese lantern, or from across the pond beneath the trees, a drift of voices cultured and remote. Water will carry anything that floats. The lantern maker, the couple chatting there, would be amazed to find themselves a poem. 8. When tail wagging in the breeze, the duck pokes bill into the pond bed, keeps it there. My daughter thinks him fun. He is. Yet how to say those acrobatics aren't meant to jollify the day? He's hungry, poking away at nothing for crumbs we fail to bring. How to tell her? 9. Ducks lie close together in morning dew, wary-eyed, bills pointing at the pond. Roused by squirrels, those early risers, air's a whir with wings. Sad to think of leaving this place. A helicopter with mysterious purpose appears above the trees, moving low, its circles tightening. The ducks cling to the pond edge, right to fear. Awakening, homage to Hakuen, Zen master, 1685-1768. 1. Shuichi brushed the black on thick. His circle held a poem like buds above a flowering bowl. Since the moment of my pointing, this bowl, an earth device, holds nothing but the dawn. 2. A freeze last night, the windows laced ice flowers, a meadow drifting from the glacier's side. I think of Hakuen, freezing in an ice field, stretched thousands of miles in all directions. I was alone, transparent, and could not move. Legs cramped, mind pointing like a torch. I cannot see beyond the frost, out nor in, and do not move. 3. I balance the round stone in my palm, turn it full circle, slowly in the late sun, spring to now. Severe compression, like a troubled head, stings my hand. It falls, a small dust rises. 4. Beyond the sycamore, dark air moves westward, smoke, cloud, something wanting a name. Across the window, my gathered breath, I trace a simple word. 5. My daughter gathers shells where 30 years before I'd turn them over, marveling. I take them from her, make at her command the universe. Hands clasped, marking the limits of a world. We watch till sundown, planets whirling in the sand. 6. Softness everywhere, snow a smear, air a gray sack. Time, place, thing, felt between skin and bone, flesh. 7. I write in the dark again, rather by dusklight. And what I love about this hour is the way the trees are taken one by one into the great wash of darkness. At this hour, I am always happy, ready to be taken myself, fully aware.